Before you think, before you analyze, just feel this. Imagine you are walking into a silent, luxurious vintage study room. The air smells like old books and polished wood. Golden evening light spills through tall windows, cutting across dust floating slowly in the air. Everything feels still, almost frozen in time. In the center of the room stands a long polished wooden table, and on that table sits 4 boxes. Not random boxes, not decorations. They feel intentional, placed there with purpose, as if they have been waiting for you. And here's the strange part. One of them immediately pulls your attention. You don't know why. You can't logically explain it, but your eyes keep returning to it. According to the ideas of Carl Jung, the unconscious mind reveals itself through symbols, through quiet attraction, through choices that feel emotional rather than rational. What you are drawn to without thinking often reflects a hidden part of your personality, a part you protect, suppress, or don't fully understand. This is not about right or wrong. This is about recognition. Take a slow breath and look at the 4 boxes carefully in your mind. The first box is small and wrapped in deep red velvet. It has a delicate golden clasp holding it shut. It looks soft yet powerful, intimate yet guarded. It feels warm, almost like it's protecting something alive inside. The second box is a rustic wooden chest with dark metal corners. It looks solid and heavy. On the front is a carved tree design, its roots spreading downward and branches reaching upward. It feels grounded, stable, ancient, like it has endured storms and survived. The third box is ornate in antique gold. Intricate filigree patterns cover its surface, reflecting the warm light. On top of it rests a large red gemstone that immediately captures your attention. It feels intense, magnetic, almost royal. There is something bold and commanding about it. The fourth box is round and made of white porcelain. It is decorated with a delicate pink rose floral pattern wrapping gently around it. It feels soft, elegant, and pure, almost fragile, almost too gentle for the weight of the world. Now here is the most important part. Do not choose based on logic. Do not choose what looks expensive. Do not choose what seems impressive. Choose the one that makes you feel something in your chest, even if that feeling is subtle, even if it's confusing, even if it's uncomfortable. Pause right now and make your choice. A. The red velvet box. B. The rustic wooden chest. C. The ornate golden box with the red gemstone. Or D. The white porcelain rose box. Once you choose, don't change it. Your first instinct is your unconscious speaking, and your unconscious does not lie. It reveals what your conscious mind tries to control. Each box represents something your soul has been hiding, not because you are fake, not because you are weak, but because life teaches us to adapt, to protect ourselves, to survive. Somewhere along your journey, a part of you learned it was safer to stay hidden, safer to be smaller, safer to be quieter, safer to be stronger than you felt. The box you chose is not random. It is a reflection, a symbol, a silent confession from your deeper self. And in the next part, we are going to open that box carefully and reveal what your soul has been protecting all this time. The question is not whether you are ready to hear it. The real question is, are you ready to accept it? If you choose box A, the deep red velvet box with the golden clasp, your soul is hiding emotional intensity. On the outside, you may appear calm, composed, even controlled. People might describe you as balanced or mature. But inside, you feel everything deeply. Love is never casual for you. Attachment is never light. When you care completely. The velvet represents softness, tenderness, and passion. The golden clasp represents protection. At some point in your life, Someone made you feel like your emotions were too much, too sensitive, too dramatic, too intense. So you learned how to close yourself carefully. You learned how to lock parts of your heart away so you wouldn't overwhelm others or risk rejection. But the truth is, your depth is not a flaw. It is power. You crave a connection where you don't have to dim your fire. You want someone who can handle the full weight of your feelings without asking you to shrink. What your soul hides is not weakness. It hides the fear of being misunderstood. If you chose box B, the rustic wooden chest with the carved tree, your soul is hiding vulnerability behind strength. You are the stable one, the reliable one, the person others depend on. The carved tree symbolizes endurance and growth. You have survived things you rarely speak about. The dark metal corners represent emotional armor. You learned early that being strong kept you safe. Maybe you had to grow up fast. Maybe you were the one holding everything together when others couldn't. You don't easily admit when you are tired. You don't easily show when you are hurt. You carry your struggles quietly because you believe you must. But deep inside, there is a softer part of you that longs to be supported. You want to be held emotionally without having to be the strong one for once. What your soul hides is exhaustion. Not physical exhaustion, emotional exhaustion from always being the pillar. You deserve rest. You deserve someone who sees your cracks and doesn't judge them. If you chose box C, the ornate antique gold box with the red gemstone, your soul is hiding ambition and suppressed power. The intricate filigree represents complexity. You are not simple. Your thoughts run deep. Your dreams are big. The red gemstone symbolizes passion, desire, and sometimes anger that you don't fully express. You want more from life than you allow yourself to say out loud. More success, more recognition, more intensity. But part of you fears being seen as arrogant or selfish. So you downplay your ambitions. You pretend you're satisfied with less. Yet inside, there is restlessness. You feel like you are meant for something bigger, but you hesitate to fully step into that power. What your soul hides is boldness. You are capable of more than you allow yourself to claim. If you chose box D, the white porcelain box with the pink roses, your soul is hiding pain behind gentleness. You appear kind, soft-spoken, nurturing. People see your warmth before they see your wounds. The porcelain symbolizes fragility, but also beauty. The roses symbolize love, sacrifice, and emotional depth. You give chances. You forgive easily. You understand people even when they hurt you. But what you rarely show is how deeply those hurts affected you. Instead of becoming cold, you became softer. Instead of hardening your heart, you kept it open. That is strength disguised as gentleness. However, your hidden struggle is boundaries. You sometimes tolerate more than you should because you fear losing connection. What your soul hides is not weakness. It hides unhealed tenderness that still believes in love despite everything. In the final part, we will understand why you learned to hide this part of yourself, and what happens when you finally stop hiding it. Now here is the deeper truth. No matter which box you chose, you are not choosing an object. You are choosing a symbol of yourself. According to Carl Jung, every human being has a shadow, not evil, not dark in a dramatic way, but hidden. The parts of us that were once natural, but became suppressed because the world responded to them in ways that made us feel unsafe. The red velvet soul learned to hide intensity because it was once told it was too much. The wooden chest soul learned to hide vulnerability because strength was rewarded and softness was ignored. The golden gemstone soul learned to shrink ambition because standing out brought criticism or jealousy. The porcelain rose soul learned to protect pain with kindness because love once felt fragile and uncertain. None of these adaptations are accidental. They were survival strategies. At some point, your mind decided it was safer to close the box than to leave it open. But survival is not the same as fulfillment. The very trait you hid to protect yourself is the trait that now holds your growth. If you choose the red velvet box, your next step in life is learning that your emotions are not burdens. When you stop apologizing for feeling deeply, you attract people who value depth instead of fearing it. If you choose the wooden chest, your transformation begins when you allow someone to see your cracks. Real strength is not never breaking. It is trusting someone enough to see you when you do. If you choose the golden ornate box, your breakthrough comes when you stop minimizing your ambition. The world does not benefit from your smallness. Your ideas, your drive, your intensity were not given to you by accident. And if you choose the porcelain rose box, your growth begins with boundaries. Kindness without boundaries becomes self-sacrifice. But kindness with boundaries becomes self-respect. The reason this simple test feels accurate is because your unconscious mind guided your choice before your logic interfered. You did not choose randomly. You chose what resonated. And resonance always reveals the truth. The study room you imagined is a metaphor for your inner world, quiet, reflective, filled with memories and old lessons. The table represents awareness. The boxes represent parts of you waiting to be acknowledged. When you finally open the box you chose, you are not discovering something new. You are remembering something old. Something that has always been there. The real question now is not which box you picked. The real question is this: will you continue to keep it closed, or will you slowly begin to live as if that hidden part of you deserves space in the light? Because the moment you stop hiding your depth, your vulnerability, your ambition, or your tenderness is the moment your life begins to feel aligned. You stop chasing people who cannot meet you. You stop shrinking to fit smaller rooms. You stop overgiving to prove your worth. You stop pretending you are less complex than you are. And when that happens, something powerful shifts inside you. The boxes disappear. The room fades. But the awareness stays. Your soul was never meant to stay hidden. It was only waiting for you to be brave enough to open it.